Stand up.
Alright,
go.
so that's where the history of my character evolution starts, back in Morrowind. And it was just another Morrowind game. Like, I did not have any specific intention of what kind of character I would like to play this time, you know.
I heard them say we reached Morrowind.
And
I'm sure
I didn't have any specific thoughts back then about it.
Quiet.
All I really knew that I was growing really tired from all of those Uber characters which would kill everything that moves like in one hit. And that's where I came up with the whole idea of trying to use the classes which the game provides to you. And the reason behind this was creating a character which would have his own strengths and weaknesses. And basically, to me, this was an important matter which was making the character, say, unique and more interesting to play, if you know what I mean. Like, if you simply have the strengths, sooner or later it simply starts to get boring, and the wish to play with this character simply fades away. And eventually guys, I came up with this face and hair design, and you know, to me it was like, wow, I actually really like it. And for me, basically, it just like clicked in my head that probably that would be the character I would like to play. But this was actually the first time where I went much deeper into the character creation that I ever had before. At this point, I wanted not just to play, but to
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in.
create
Follow me up to the office and
her
they'll finish your
personal
release.
backstory, and to start actually role-playing, make her character as real and enjoyable as possible, if you know what I mean. And
Yes, we've been expecting you.
in
You'll have to be recorded
this
before you're
census
officially
office,
released. There are a few
eventually,
ways we can do this, and the choice is
I
yours.
came up with the class which I thought would fit just perfectly for this character, which would be a nice Nightblade. The combination between mage and thief, like without any strong links on the either side. And as
Very
for
good. The letter
the
that
birth
preceded, you mentioned you
sign,
were born
I
under a
have
certain
came
sign.
up with
what
the
would that be?
mage, like, you know, with this sign she got this
Interesting.
special
Now,
magic
before I start,
abilities,
let's make sure
you
this
know,
information is
and
correct.
since she was like a thief from the beginning, so I thought of it as a perfect combination. And this was actually the first time when I was started to think seriously about actually naming the character, since I have played enough to figure out like some of the, say, name patterns, like say among Dunmers or Imperials, like they have first name and the last name. So I wanted to create the name which would fit, you know, the character, like would fit the name which would be locally recognized as the Dunmer name. And that's when I came up with the name Demisa Drithon. And yeah, guys, with that, that's how Demisa Drithon was created. And that's where the story of Demisa Drithon begins. Starting as an apprentice among the mage's rank, little she knows that she eventually will end up being among the highest ranks in the Great House Telvanni, and she chose this great house because the politics of House Telvanni were fitting her character the most, and were fitting her ways of dealing things the most. Like if you got caught yourself, if you didn't get caught while taking an item, it's yours. And well, you guys probably know much better like the detailed politics of all the great houses. But yeah, guys, that was how I actually got myself sucked into the creating characters as deep as the game can possibly provide me with. You know what I mean? And that was the very first character with her own name and her own background and her own story. And that's how I actually started to feel much more serious about character creation from this point onwards. Like, I simply did not want to create any plain characters anymore. At this point, I simply started to create their own stories, their own backgrounds, and how they would act in various situations, and forming the character of this person. You know what I mean? And because it was my very first character with her very first own background, I actually grew so attached to her that this is how and this is why she was transferring into the other Elder Scrolls installation. Not Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim.